If you're considering getting married in Spain, you're going to be attending a wedding in Spain, or simply interested in how weddings in Spain work,
in this video, we're going to tell you everything you need to know.
Let's get right into it. Perfect. If you're new here, my name's Johnny. I'm originally from the UK and I've been living in Madrid and working here for the past 5 years. On my channel, I talk a lot about living in Spain, working in Spain, a lot of administrative procedures, personal finance, and also travel stories as well. With me today is my new wife, Andrea, who you may have seen before on the channel when we did a vlog when we went to Valencia. Andrea is originally from Venezuela. We met about 4 years ago. We got engaged last December and got married in September. And so based on our experience of planning and celebrating a wedding in Spain, we're going to tell you a little bit about what you can expect. So in Spain, there's two routes essentially that you can get married by. So one is to get married through the church, whether that's the Catholic church, a different kind of church, a religious wedding essentially, and the other way is kind of the non-religious route, which is the civil route. So Andrea is going to tell you now a little bit about the religious route, which is what we took. We got married through the church. So Andrea, how was the process of getting married through the church?
So because I'm a Catholic and Johnny's not, we couldn't do the entire process in the same church we were getting married at. So we had to go through the Archbishop first, and we had to get an interview and get a lot of paperwork like birth certificates, baptism certificates. We had to do a course. It's a marriage course.
Yeah, so actually the Catholic Church, one of the requirements, as Andrea said, is to do like a premarital course. You do it with other couples. You can do it either like in an intensive weekend where you spend like the whole weekend on the course, or you can do it over the period of like a month, doing it like for a few hours, one night or 2 nights every week. And it's basically like you like asking the tough questions like to each other, like about what you like about each other, like what isn't working in the relationship, if something could be better, how you envision your life together. The two of you preparing for marriage to make sure that like this is the right time, it's the right step for both of you, and like you're sure that you're going to do this to give you the best chance of a successful marriage, basically.
In our case, to get permission from the Archbishop to get married, we had to pay a fee. It was less than 100 euros. And then we had to make like a church donation to get married in the church that we wanted to.
Essentially a fee to like reserve the venue, yeah, considered a donation. But yeah, so that we had like the ceremony reserved at the church, basically. Another reason why we had to go through the Archbishop as well is because we're like an international marriage. Like I think 2 Spanish citizens that are getting married, for example, like again, if they're going down the religious route, they could just do everything within their church. But like I'm a UK national, Andrea is Spanish but is also Venezuelan, so a lot of our documents were coming from outside of Spain, so that's another reason why we also had to go through the Archbishop.
Yeah, because all the sacraments I've done have been in Venezuela, so yeah, that was definitely another reason why we had to go through the Archbishop first. But in the end, everything worked out and it was fine. We got everything we needed and we got it done.
All right, so via the non-religious route, like the civil route, there's 3 possible routes that you can have for like a civil wedding. So one is to get married in front of a notary. That'll cost you about 150 euros. Another option is to get married in the ayuntamiento, which is like the town hall in Spain where you're going to be living. It'll cost about the same, between 100 to 200 euros, depending on the town hall. And you can also get married in front of like the tribunal known as the juzgado in Spain. And that's free, actually. It's free to get married in front of the juzgado. What you'll see as well is like a lot of venues, which we're going to talk about a bit later in the video. They also have like the civil wedding or sometimes even the religious wedding option included in like the package they offer. So you can get that as well. And as I say, both of us, a lot of our documents were coming from outside of Spain. So the key documents that we needed to get married were like copies of our IDs. So passport, DNI, like in Andrea's case. We needed copies of our birth certificate. In my case, as a non-EU national, mine needed to be apostilled. In some cases, you may be asked for an official translation. In my case, I wasn't asked for it as we went down the religious route. The church wasn't too bothered about the translation. But if you're going down the civil route, they may ask for a Spanish translation of your documents.
If you're going out through the religious route, you will be asked for your baptism certificate. In my case, my mom had to go to the church where I was baptized and get a certificate because it has an expiry date, and it also has to be notarized by the Archbishop in Caracas in my case. Johnny's case, he also had to get his baptism certificate from his church in England, and his parents helped with that.
Yeah, in my case, I was baptized in an Anglican church, and I had to go through like the county records basically. And funny story, like the place that had the records was like closed down. Supposed to be closed for like 6 months because they were like relocated to a new office space. So I was like, oh my gosh, like how am I going to get this? But fortunately I got it and everything was fine. And I also learned that they incorrectly input my baptism date, that they put that I was baptized before I was born. Very interesting. Nevertheless, I think, the church here, they obviously understood that that wasn't possible and that it was a clerical or administrative error. Another important document that you'll be asked for is proof that you're essentially not married and that you are single and able to marry, which Andrea will tell us the name in Spanish. It's called
Declaración responsable de fe, de vida y estado.
Yeah, so quite a long name, but there's a couple of possibilities for how you might be asked to do this. Like in Andrea and I's case, like it was the very simple case where we printed off a form from like the Comunidad de Madrid website. We said, yeah, I'm single and signed, and it was acceptable for the church. Now, if you're like a British national, for example, you can actually go on the UK government website and they have documents prepared where you can download it, and it's like going through the official declaration. You take it to a notary, get it signed. It cost about 80 euros, I think, was the price they gave me. So given that, I was able to just print it off, sign it, and for free, and it would be acceptable for the church, I decided not to do it that way. But in some cases, you might be asked. So I'll put the link in the video description of where you can download those documents in case you do need to do it.
We also needed 2 witnesses. It could be friends or family, but it has to be people who really know you and know that the relationship is real. And yeah, they're gonna be interviewed and be asked some questions, and to make sure that the relationship is not only real, but that no one is being forced to be in the relationship, no one's being forced to get married, things like that, or no one has like a secret children somewhere, like those kind of questions. In any case, if you're going through for example, the religious route, what I did was first I talked to the church that I wanted to get married in, and they told me directly to go to the archbishop and ask for all the requirements, and that's what I did. I went and they gave me like a piece of paper with everything I needed, and then after I got it, I just called them, got an appointment for the interview with the witnesses and everything, and that was basically it. So like if you have any questions, like just go directly to the church or the archbishop if you have to.
Yeah, and I mean the same probably applies in like the civil route. Like if you have questions, then speak to like the notary or the town hall or the juzgado where you're planning to get married, and I'm sure they'll be able to help you with any documents and stuff you need. All right, now we're going to talk about the fun stuff. Let's talk about how weddings in Spain actually work. Like what does a typical wedding in Spain look like? So here I'm mainly talking about like the reception part. Like obviously the ceremony kind of happens and then you got like the reception. So the venue can really depend on what kind of wedding someone is having, and probably also like the size. Like a smaller reception, if you don't have many guests, it can maybe take place in like the event space of a hotel or the event space like a conference center or something. But for like the bigger weddings, and what's kind of been our experience of attending weddings and was our venue as well, is like kind of locations in like the countryside, known as like a finca in Spanish, where they have like event space again, and space to eat, and outside space with like nature. There might be lakes, rivers, there's like green space and trees, basically everything. Yeah,
in Spain people get usually married during the weekend, so between Friday and Sundays when weddings take place, especially Friday and Saturdays, being Saturday the most popular day to get married for obvious reasons. And if you're getting married on a Friday or a Saturday, the most common thing is to have a wedding that starts in the afternoon and finishes like maybe 2, 3, even 4 a.m. So our ceremony started at 1:30, and like when we got to the venue and stuff, it was already like 3:30. But if you get married on a Sunday, the most common thing is to have your ceremony start like at 1:30, and the wedding like at midnight max. So our ceremony started at 1:30 p.m. at the church, and then we had a shuttle bus who took the guests from the church to the venue. So guests arrived at the venue at 3:30. Something that you need to know about our venues: we had 2 spaces. One was like an outer space where we had the cocktail. It was a 90-minute cocktail from 3:30 till 5, and then people went to the banquet area, which was inside. So we had lunch.
A very late lunch, but a lunch nevertheless.
Yeah, that lasted for like 3 hours. So until 8. So we had starter, fish, sorbete.
The sorbet, yeah.
Okay. We also had meat and dessert. Dessert was our wedding cake with some ice cream, which was very nice.
It was very good.
And then we had the baile nupcial.
The first dance.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, after the dinner, like we had our first dance, which was nice. And then we had like 4 hours of music and party, which took us up to about midnight, as Andrea said. So this is kind of the typical flow of like a wedding reception in Spain. Obviously, it can vary a little bit between weddings, but this is typically what you'll expect. Like, and the depending on the venue, typically like the food you can expect is like, you know, typical Spanish food, which is obviously great. We really enjoyed the food in our case, like really good quality food. During like the party as well, our venue, and I think most of the venues that we visited as well, like it was a free bar. So basically like you can go up and just get whatever drinks you want, basically. And obviously like as an international couple, like we had people from all over coming to our wedding, like Andrea's family and friends from Venezuela. I had my family and friends from the UK, friends from France, a lot of people traveling from within Spain to be there as well. A lot of different nationalities represented, and so we obviously like we put our own touch on it and made it our own wedding, which you should do, and we'll talk about that kind of when we come to like our tips for planning a wedding in Spain.
Shout out to Tara, who came from the United States. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So during the cocktail and the banquet, you can mostly get white wine, red wine, champagne, any soft drinks you would like, water. In our case, we had during the cocktails a mojito bar, which was nice. But the other drinks I said before are the most normal ones you can get. Also tinto de verano,
Yeah.
which is very nice.
Yeah. Authentic Spanish sangria, not tourist sangria, like the real deal. All right, now we're going to tell you a few like Spanish traditions that you'll see at a typical Spanish wedding. So when like the bride and groom come out the church, or like someone sees the bride and groom, it's very common for someone to shout, "Vivan los novios!" And then everyone responds,
Viva!
which is basically like long live the bride and groom. So it was really funny actually, like they shouted that when we came out the church, and then when we were in our car going to like the venue, people could see us, and we heard like people in the street shouting it as well, like to us, and it was really fun and super cool. Also, when it comes to like giving gifts at weddings in Spain, like in the UK, I know it's very common to have like a registry where you have like a list of items maybe that you want for your wedding as a gift. In Spain, that's not the case. It works in countries like Italy, I think, and France are similar, where it's more common to gift like money to the bride and groom. So people might leave it in like envelopes with like a wedding card, or you know, they make you like a bank transfer or something. But yeah, it's more common in Spain like to receive money as a wedding gift, and how much you receive depends on a couple of factors. Like it depends on, you know, how well you know the person. Like you can't expect the same from like an acquaintance or work colleague as you would expect from like your parents or your aunt and uncle, for example. Another thing is like how big the wedding is, how many people are there, like what the overall cost of the wedding was for like the bride and the groom, which is something we'll talk about more in like the planning phase. If you're unsure, like what I've done with like some of my friends that got married is I asked like what was the average cost per head, and then we gifted money like based on that as well.
It is also common to give gifts to the guests. In our case, we gave each one a little bottle of extra virgin olive oil. It has our names and the wedding date. We also gave pashmina scarves, flip-flops if any girl wanted to change their heels, and hand fans.
And like something that is common in Spain as well is that the bride and groom will often give gifts to like their close family, like maybe to like the father of the bride or the mother of the groom or something like that. It's not something that we've seen like is common in the UK or Venezuela, so we didn't do it at ours, but we have seen it at some Spanish weddings, and it's often accompanied by music and the bride and groom like doing a lap around the room before making their way over to the table to give the gift.
Here they usually do that during the sorbete or
the sorbet, I think, in English.
But in our case, since we didn't do it, what we did was tell our little brothers to write a speech for us, and they did, and it was really funny, and It was really nice. I cried. Did you cry?
I did not cry, but I was touched. Also, when it comes to cutting the wedding cake in Spain, you don't cut it with a knife, you cut it with a sword. So yeah, we were gifted this by the venue, and we were told we can keep it. So this is a nice souvenir of our day when we cut our wedding cake. And as Andrea is Venezuelan, we incorporated a very Venezuelan tradition into our party, which Andrea is now going to tell you about.
He's talking about la hora loca, or
the crazy hour, I guess, is like the closest English translation, yeah.
yeah, in Venezuela, basically all weddings have it. Like, it's a must, and it's, 1 hour where, like, crazy things happen. Like, so the bride and groom make an entrance with their closest friends, and they're all wearing, like, atrezos or props or, like, kind of costumes. And we'll have to, like, put a video so people can understand a little more.
Yeah.
So, like, with all, like crazy things. So because we hired a Venezuelan company to make La Hora Loca, we had, like, 2 animadores, or, like, 2 guys who, like, lead the party. And they both had, like, masks. They were, like, dressed in costumes. One has, like, had a unicorn mask, and the other one had a bull mask. And they gave jelly shots. We had, like, a limbo shot thing. I don't know how to exactly call it.
Yeah.
What else? They were just, like, dancing. They gave us, like, their own playlist. It's like, it's to, like, really animar la fiesta.
Get the party started, yeah.
And it was, like, super fun. Everyone had so much fun. Like, everyone loved it. Like, obviously Venezuelan people loved it, but, like, people from, like, the guests that came from England, France, Spain, that some of them had no idea this even existed. They absolutely loved it. It was really fun.
Yeah, my, like, almost 8-year-old grandmother was, like, having a fantastic time in the Hora Loca as well, which was, like, so great to see. And so, yeah, you can find these kind of things here in Spain because obviously there's a lot of Latin American, residents here that have brought elements of their culture with them. So oftentimes, like, whatever you're looking for your wedding, like, you can find it and you can make it happen, basically, is what we're trying to say. And so, with all of that in mind, if you're getting married in Spain and you're looking for some tips, some suggestions for helping you prepare your wedding, here's a couple of things that we would suggest from our experience. So first, I would say look at lots of different venues. Early on in the video, I mentioned about, like, the cost per head. The reason I say that is because the way a lot of venues price their weddings is, like, they'll give you a cost per person. So they'll say we include like free bar, we include the dinner, we include, like, DJ, the party. They might include some, like, fun activities like a photo booth or something like that. And they'll say, the price per person is 120 or 150 or whatever. And they'll give you, like, a minimum number of people. So with that in mind, obviously find a venue that you really like and, that looks great. But, like, when you're shopping around as well, think about what's good value for money. Like, try and get the most value for your money. Like, a venue might say, oh yeah, we include 4 hours of free bar, whereas another venue might say, oh, we only include 3, or we have like the 3-course meal, and then we have, like, little food stands as well included in our price. So, keep that in mind and try and figure out what's the best value for money within that, I'd say.
And those prices also depend on the day you're getting married.
Yes, it's obviously, as Andrea said, it's very common to get married on a Saturday. So as one might expect, it's more expensive. Yeah, like, Saturday is the most expensive, then Fridays and Sundays are a bit less expensive, and then like Monday through Thursday, like, you can probably even find some really good deals. Not massively cheaper, but you can still obviously save, like, some money as well. Also, like, the time of year you get married, there's, like, popular months basically where to get married in Spain, which is kind of starting around May, June time, and then up until maybe about September, October is when, like, you can expect to pay a bit more, and then, like, kind of in the off season, which runs through, like, the autumn, winter, early springtime, like, you can probably expect to pay a little bit less as well per head. So your wedding might cost a little bit less at that time.
Since we didn't have a wedding planner, well, I was the wedding planner basically.
Did a very good job.
A website that really helped us was bodas.net. It's bodas.net because you can find literally anything you need, like any like supplier you might need or you might think of, like anything you will find there. Like what?
Like photography, like a venue, like wedding invitations, like a DJ, musicians, literally anything you can think of, like for your wedding, like you will find it on bodas.net, which we'll put the link in the description for. Not sponsored or anything, but like it's just everyone knows it in Spain. It's just like the Google of weddings basically in Spain. Like that's how like common knowledge it is, like bodas.net in Spain basically. Okay, the next point was actually a point of contention between Andrea and I, like throughout the whole wedding planning process. I'm going to tell you my opinion. I'm going to tell you how it worked out. But yeah, hear both perspectives here. So basically, don't think that you have to have something or that you need to spend money that you don't have, that you can't afford, or that you don't want to spend on your wedding. Like you, at the end of the day, it's your wedding. Like make it a good wedding, but don't feel pressured into spending like excess money or money that you don't really feel like you want to spend. So where did the clash come? As a finance person, obviously, I'm very like, I want to save money. I don't want to spend in excess. Whereas Andrea had like so many ideas and wanted to do so many things. So you need, if you have like those two competing mentalities, try and find a compromise. On one hand, as I say, I still definitely believe in like not spending too much money because like, to be very honest, I feel like, you know, a lot of things that are wedding related, like they'll just charge you as much money as they can because they know like they can because it's a wedding. But at the same time, like when like thinking back on my wedding day now, you know, like it was like definitely best day of my life. Like it was an amazing experience. And, you know, like the money we did spend in the end, even if it was maybe a little bit more than I would have liked to spend, was definitely worth it for like the day we had. So like, try and find the balance is what I'm saying. Again, don't spend too much, but make sure that you know, still have a nice, enjoyable experience within that.
And for the last point, try to have fun. Don't get too overwhelmed about the planning because that day goes by so fast. And remember that you're a partnership, so if you're feeling very overwhelmed, you can tell him to help as well. Yeah, you helped a lot with like everything that was like about the shuttle, the car, everything that had to do with like
the logistics.
Yeah, and also like all the paperwork that you needed from the UK, you handled.
Yeah.
Etc. He did more things anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Andrea, like I say, like she was very into like the creative like aspect of that. So I kind of, you know, I wanted to let her do her thing there. And probably, you know, you watching, if you're planning a wedding, like, you know, both of you might have different interests. Like someone might be really into like the design and the details and all that kind of stuff. And someone might be more into just like the logistical planning kind of things. As Andrea said, like make it work from a partnership perspective. Like don't leave it all to one person. Make it work between the two of you as well. And with that said as well, like Andrea said, your partnership, remember it goes from like a relationship perspective as well. Like I think at times, like I don't know about you, but like I felt like we were like, you know, colleagues managing a project at some point because it just like we were so into the details and we're so like trying to get so much done. But at the end of the day, like you're gonna be like spouses in the future. So I think one of the good things we did like a week before the wedding is like we had lunch together and we just said like no wedding talk like during this time. Let's just enjoy each other's company. So just remember, like throughout the planning process, take time to enjoy each other's company. Like don't stress about the planning like all the time. Take time off. Like don't talk about it all the time. Just enjoy each other's company. And like, I didn't have this in my notes, but like, it's just come to my mind now as well. Like the day is going to be a great day. Like no matter what happens, like don't stress about the details. Like something might go wrong, but like, it's not going to take away from the fact that you're with, you know, your favorite people, your closest friends, family, and like whatever happens, it's going to be a great day.
So our recommendation is for you to just enjoy the day because it goes by so fast. And don't focus about the little details of like they put this thing there, that thing there, they put it in the wrong color, whatever. Like no, just like enjoy it, have the best time, eat, eat because the food is so good. So just like enjoy the food, the drinks, don't drink too much, you need to like be and spend time with like, try to spend time with like everyone, because like you have to remember that everyone that loves you is there and wants the best for you. So like have the best time you can. I absolutely love my wedding day. It's like the best day of my life. I don't know about you.
Yeah, me too, yeah. Also, whether you're a guest or the bride and groom, pace yourself with the food. Don't eat too much in the reception, otherwise you're not going to be able to manage all of the food. Don't eat too much food in like the cocktail, because there'll be like little appetizers going around. You'll think, oh, that looks good. It's all small things, and then you get to like the main meal, like the main courses, and you're like, oh, I can't eat anymore because I'm too full. So yeah, pace yourself with the food as well. That said though, if you are too full, like you can ask for like a doggy bag to like take away any food that you can't eat as well, and like probably the venue will be able to you know, put it in a bag or a little plastic box, and you can take it away and eat it later. Because remember, you've paid for the food, so enjoy it. Okay, guys, so a lot of information there. We hope it was really helpful. Big thank you to Andrea for coming in the video, providing her insights as well. Leave a comment and let us know if you're getting married in Spain, if you're attending a wedding in Spain, if you've got any questions, or if you've been to a wedding in Spain, how was your experience? The next time, I'll see you on the next one.
And let's get this money.
Wait, I'll put it in the middle so we can do it. Till next time, wait.
We do like this?
Wait. Till next time, I'll see you on the next one.
And let's get this money.
Go closer to the mic though.
Vale.
Okay. Till next time, I'll see you on the next one.
And let's get this money. No sé, mire pa' allá.
Okay, fine. Till next time, I'll see you on the next one.
And let's get this money.